In three, two, one. Three, two, one. As you can see, I've been drinking a lot of wine already. So we got cocktails plus the first wine. Okay, I did take a few nips of wine in between or something else, but this is about Open That Bottle Night 2020. This is about opening up wines that you have sitting in your cellar, in your basement, in your closet that you should be opening now. Now, the first one I did, this is Open That Bottle number two. The first one I did was from France. It was a Sancerre. It was 17 years old. Oh my God, it was phenomenal. And let me tell you something, it went great. Fantastic with the chicken pot pie. Jackie Short did a good job. But you know what? I think I wined her under the table because the wine we drank in between and the cocktails beforehand, she could not be here for this next wine. So she's like over there sitting in the chair, just like, you know what, I'm done. I'm done. You just go ahead and have a good time. So the Wisconsin Wine Guy is going to keep it live for all of you right here tonight who are all celebrating. Welcome, Open That Bottle Night 2020. So moving right along, we're still with our usual, our customary setup that we're doing for this. Four wine glasses. Okay, four wine glasses, not eight. Four wine glasses. I have my standard wine tasting glass. This is the wine I use for all of my wine reviews. They have consistency across the board. Then I have, and this is red wine. Then I have the universal Riedel wine glass. Then I have the big bowl red wine glass. Okay, we'll see how that's gonna work. And then next to that, I have the universal. You know what? I'm gonna switch the order of that. I have the universal number three. Okay, universal for red and white standard wine glass. Then I have the big bowl red wine glass at number four. You know what I'm trying to do here is I'm going to do. It's going to be a two-step process. I'm going to do a smell test and then decide which glass I think gives the best nose for the wine. And then part two is going to be the taste test. Which wine gives the best taste, or which glass gives the best taste for the wine. So I got the corkscrew, and now I need to tell you what the wine is. So the wine is going to be very interesting. I'm going to go local, okay? Let's see if you get a good look at that. All right, this is going to be Parallel 44. As you can see, it's an old label. If Parallel 44 is watching, they're recognizing the old label. This is an old label. So this is a winery that opened up in Wisconsin in 2005. Now, in Wisconsin, you know, grape growing in 2005 isn't old. There was a couple of wines that were growing grapes, but this particular winery just opened, planted some vines, you know, but they weren't ready to make wines from the grapes they were growing just yet. Okay, it was fairly new. So they produced a few years later, well, this wine here, so 3 years later, they produced this particular wine. Now, in the beginning, they were getting their wines from other areas until their vines matured. That happens with a lot of wineries, okay? But let me tell you something. To date, they're producing wines from grapes that they grow right here in Wisconsin, right in their two vineyards. They're located in two different regions inside of Wisconsin. Wisconsin has 5 regions. They're growing grapes, well, okay, in one region, but two different locations. How's that? All right, that's Parallel 44. But now, back in the past, this is the 2009 Cabernet Sauvignon. They were making Chardonnays, they were making Gewürztraminer, and the Gewürztraminer was just like, you know, hella. You know, the Chardonnays, they did 2 vintages of the Chardonnays, hella. You know, they were doing it. You know, the winery showed lots of promise going into the future. So now the Cabernet that they did, the grapes were sourced from the Horse Heaven Hills out of Washington. You know, I remember I'm going back in time now. It's like I'm right there. I remember going back and tasting, you know, the grapes, tasting the wine, you know, after the crush, tasting the juice, I should say, after the crush, tasting the wine when it was the juice when it was in the tank, you know, doing, you know, tank samples after fermentation, barrel samples, you know, and then finally having a bottle, you know. So they do not, listen closely, Parallel 44 does not make wine from the grapes from other regions. You know, like, I should say they make the standard varietals, you know, like Cabernet, Chardonnay, Riesling, etc. They don't do that anymore, okay? All the wines, the majority of the wines that they make are all made from cold, hardy grapes, All right. So you're going to be in for a whole new treat when sampling the wines or tasting wines from Parallel 44. So keep that in mind. But we're going back in time, the humble beginnings of like most wineries. Cabernet. They'll never make this again. This is vintage 2009, so we're talking 11 years old. Hopefully, I did it some justice. Hopefully, I carried it forward and nurtured it. Just like in the first video, I'm stroking it ever so softly and saying, hey, let's work for us. It's nice and cool. So it went from my house that had a really nice basement cave, all rock, level temperature, to the condo that was brick, consistent temperature, to now hanging out in my wine closet in the apartment, again, which maintains a, decent temperature in that particular room, but that room is only for workouts, etc. But it's a nice closet, kept dark, everything's cool. So this wine has traveled. So let's see if I did a good job in protecting it and nurturing it and making sure that it's aging gracefully. 2009 Cabernet Sauvignon, Horse Heaven Hills from Washington, produced by Parallel 44 in the humble beginnings of this winery. So let's drink some wine. Let's get it open. Now, I'm always nervous as usual. When you open up an old bottle of wine, you never know what you're going to get. And oftentimes you can smell the wine in the bottle. And you may get a little stench, but oftentimes that's due in part to just like, it hanging out in the bottle for so long, but you never truly know if the wine is any good or not until you actually pour it out into a glass, which I have my 4 wine glasses here, and we're going to find out. So let's get this cork open. So the cork looks pretty good. Let's see that. Cork looks pretty good. So wow, this is always a nervous thing. So, wine tasting online. That is, again, keep that in mind, wine tasting online, because this is where the Wisconsin wine guy is going in the future. I want you to taste wine with me online. Woo, baby, that cork is in there. This is going to be a very interesting thing. Whoa. So I'm probably going to break this cork. Let me try to find a good spot to get this. Ah, there we go. Woo, baby. Now, if you watch the first video, you'll know that I broke the cork in the bottle. Oh, yeah, baby. Take a look at that. Man. Wow, that smells great. That smells great. The great thing about being able to taste an older wine, especially if it's a wine that you had the opportunity to try along the way, and its maturation, its growth, its evolution, is remembering those original taste characteristics and then applying them to today. Guess what, y'all? Haley's Corker again. Haley's Corker is going to save the day, right? Haley's Corker. Got my filter in case there's sediment. Looking inside there. Got my filter. It's going to be an aerator. Gonna save the wine. Once I put this in the bottle, I never have to take it out until the wine is gone. So that Sauvignon Blanc, earlier I said I'm gonna save some and see how it tastes tomorrow. Just put the Haley's Corker to the test on an aged wine. Wow, that smelled great. So again, Parallel 44, Vineyard Winery. This is a 2009 Cabernet Sauvignon, grape sourced from the Horse Haven Hills in Washington. In fact, back then, 2009 or earlier, Washington was just really starting to come into its own. I mean, there's like a whole lot of history here. That is the great and wonderful and interesting thing about bottles, especially aged bottles of wine, is the history. To know what was going on or recall what was going on at that time in the wine industry. Being in Wisconsin, what was going on, 2007, and coming forward is when a lot of the wines that you would be able to pick up, in areas like Chicago or areas like California, New York, you were able to get some of these, really nice wines in Wisconsin. Guess what? 2007, all that changed. So in fact, 2007, it changed for the Midwest. Now you were able to purchase or acquire those wines in the Midwest at your local wine shops and even some liquor stores or grocery stores. How cool was that? A lot of changes. So this is what happens with me when I open up an older wine. History, man. Wine history. So now we're going to pour the wine. Of course, as always, we're going to pour it in each glass. I'm going to do my swirl on the first glass, my taste, my swirl, rinse the palate. But again, when I said earlier, first thing's going to be a nose test. Which is going to give me the best nose? So we're going to pour in the first glass. Give you a look at that. Take a look at that. Whoa, baby. I am so looking forward to tasting this. I mean, it smelled great in the bottle. So I'm so looking forward to tasting this wine. Let me get a nose. Let me get a nose in the glass because there's no point pouring into the rest of the glasses if this first glass is funky and doesn't smell good. But from right here, those berries are just coming through, and you have the little berries blended with a little bit of age. They're just coming through. Wow. Oh my gosh. It's aged in oak. I believe this is aged in American oak. Oh, there's that oak spice, vanilla, dark berries like blackberry. Whoo, baby. A little bit of cherry. It's starting to open up, y'all. It's starting to open up as it gets in the glass. So I say now it's safe to pour this. Oh, there's the plum. It's safe to pour this in the other glass. The second glass is going to be the Riedel Universal. Next glass is going to be my standard Universal. Again, when I say Universal, you can use these glasses for both red and white. Now, this glass here, number 3, is a glass that I've had for quite so many years. I started off with quite a few of those I used in my wine shop. They were like unbreakable glasses, but it's very cool shape. But as you can see, I only have one. I broke the rest over time. And then last but not least, it's going to be the big bowl red wine glass. Oh, wow. There we go. So now, as I said earlier, our first test is going to be the nose test. Let's find out how this wine smells. These are glasses. Let's give them all a nice little swirl so that Jackie's work. You missing out. You're missing out. Yeah, she's done. Give it a nice swirl in each glass. And now let's do the nose test. Okay, so here's going to be the nose for the first one. I did it earlier, so I'll do it a second time. Here's the nose. Oh my God, it's really starting to open up. I mean, that spice, the spice in the wood is really coming through. But don't misunderstand me. The fruit is all very well blended in that. So this is my standard wine tasting glass I use for all my wine reviews. And you can catch all those wine reviews on Wisconsin Wine Guy YouTube. So now, glass number 2 is going to be the Riedel Universal. Wow. Now, the difference between the two is the Riedel, if you look at the opening, okay, of the two glasses, my standard glass is very narrow, but the Riedel is just like wide open. It's like, boom, everything's coming right there. It has a narrow front, but everything's coming right at you. Not as concentrated as my standard glass, but concentrated enough. But a big enough bowl that when you swirl, okay, a lot of the wine's esters and aroma and the bouquet comes through. It's funny. This has almost like it puts in my mind a fleshy type of mindset to it. Like, you know what? I immediately want to have some type of meat with this one. Wow, out of this glass. But I get more of the plum and spice on that one. Now for the number 3, for the Universal. What we're doing now, folks, we're trying to find out which one of these glasses gives the best nose. All right, Universal. Universal, it comes out first with the plum, blended with spice and berries. But which glass is going to be my favorite glass for the nose? Now, glass number 4, the big bowl red wine glass. This is by Luigi. You know, if you watch the first one, you know, me and Luigi, we got this thing going on. This is by Luigi. Luigi is doing the thing. Italian glass maker. Oh, wow. Now, a bigger bowl, more surface space, more room to swirl, okay? It's going to give you more of the aromatics, more of the bouquet. This one here, more of the spice comes through. You can feel that spice in the nose. Where's the alcohol in this wine? See if we can find it. Alcohol 13.8, almost 14%, but 13.8. Let's say 13.8. This is say almost 14%. It was a 14%, but which it very well could be 14%. All right, now let's run it back through, and I'm going to pick the glass that I think for myself gives me the best nose. So it's always great when you have a second person doing this with you, because then you have differences in opinion. So glass number one, the standard. Oh wow, that's really nice. That's really nice. I mean, it just evolves and rolls through the nose. This one here, it's just like just engulfs. Just everything's just right there. Wow, you can tell the wine is beginning to open up as it sits in the glasses. Wow. Down for the big bowl. Now, if I had to pick one, all right, I have to pick one. I would go first with this one here. I like the concentration and the focus because here I pick up a little bit of spice with the vanilla and berries, very well blended, little wood taste, smell to it. So this is like it's like very intense, very focused, and I like that because it rolls. It's complex, it rolls. Second for me, so the standard. Second for me will probably be, let's see. Okay, that's the Rito, the standard universal, and the big bowl. Wow, it's a toss up between these two for first and second. Here we go. Rito, universal. I'm gonna have to call this a tie. All right. So my Rito Universal and my Standard Universal, I'm gonna have to call this a tie between the two. I mean, so both of those. The Big Bowl comes in third in this case, or fourth in this case. I think the nose is nice, but I think because the surface is so big, a lot is lost. I like the focus of the concentration, especially on the older wine. You want to make sure you get that focus of concentration. I like that this is all encompassing because of the opening, but then I like this one here because you have that wideness of the bowl, but then it concentrates the flavor of the nose. You know, I would say this is more intense. So now I'm going to back up. I'm going to go 1, 2, and 3. Okay, the standard universal just wins out. I mean, not too bad. I mean, so there you have it. When it comes to the nose of the wine, this is a Cabernet, 2009 Cabernet. The grapes are sourced from Horsehaven Hills. This is a Parallel 44 Vineyard and Winery. This is back when they first began. They were just starting out, in making wine. They were still doing wine from grapes that were sourced from other areas. Now, all the wines that they make are sourced from grapes grown right here in Wisconsin and are grown right at their vineyard. And we'll talk about, in fact, behind me, right here, Wisconsin grapes. So we got Marshall Foch, La Crescent, Frontenac Gris. We have Frontenac, St. Pepin, Marquette, Edelweiss, and one that's not up there, which is slowly taking the area by storm, is going to be Petite Pearl. I mean, there's so many grapes to try here in Wisconsin. Got to give it a shot. All right, so many grapes to try here in the Midwest. But right now we're talking about Wisconsin. All right. Now, part 2 is going to be the taste test. I got jams going in the background. You probably can't hear it through here because I got this noise filter going on my headpiece. But I got jams going on, so I'm like super hyped. So let's now do the taste test. Which one of these wine glasses is going to give me the best taste? In addition to that, will the taste be pleasant? 11 years old. 11 years old, y'all. Okay, here we go. I mean, you saw the color. Here's the color. Here's the color in the standard glass. Color in the Rito glass. Color in my universal tasting glass. Color in my bowl. Now for the taste. So I'm going to rinse first with the first glass. I'm going to rinse with this and then taste in a second, but I won't rinse with the rest. Here we go. Good rinse. Wow. I'm gonna say that real low. Wow. That's just the rinse. Let me tell you, this is the last bottle. Parallel 44 will never, ever, ever make a wine from some other grape again. This is the last bottle, 2009 Cabernet Horse Heaven Hills out of Washington. Oh my God. This is in my standard tasting glass. I think it's going to be tough. I think it's now safe to say, taste wise, I can taste through the rest of the glasses. I did a good job in resting this wine. Oh my God. I'm 2 for 2 for tonight. Oh my God. Here we go. First one was 17 years, a Sauvignon Blanc from St. Cyr, Lower Valley. Number two is a Cabernet Sauvignon made in Wisconsin, grape sourced from Horse Heaven Hills, Washington. So that was my rinse. Let me go ahead and taste it now. Mm. Very mellow, smooth, nice spiciness, nice mid palate of fruit, plummy on the finish. Oh my God, that's so good. This is the last bottle. You know, it's always sad when you open your last bottle of a vintage. Because you know what? After that, it becomes a memory. All a memory. Let's go to glass number two. Glass number two is going to be the Rito. We're trying to find out which glass is going to give me the best taste. Mm. Wow. A lot more overall fullness and taste when I tasted that one, okay? It like totally just like rushed and flushed my entire mouth. You know, like wow, that was pretty nice. You get the coolness of the wine, the fruit coming through, the saltiness of the spice, different fruits and berries coming through. Wow, that finishing off with plum. Both did finish off with plum. Oh my God, that was pretty good. Now for the universal standard. That was pretty good. Number two. So far, number two is winning. Number one is okay, but number two is winning. I just love the rush of all of that wine across my palate and just encapsulating my entire mouth. Glass number three, my standard universal. Here we go. Hmm. One more taste. Let's talk about tannins. Tannins right now are like medium. Okay, they're not overpowering, but it's like very nice, almost making it a good structure, but almost like silky. Everything just comes together. I pick up more of the tannins here. Of course, it has to do with the rinse, but I pick more of the tannins here for some reason I did in the first two. The first two, I get more fruit in this one. I get more intensity of flavor in this one. I get pick up more tannins in this one. How weird is that? Isn't that crazy? But so far, I'm really digging the fullness and rush of flavor, excuse me, that wine number two, glass number two, and that's Dorito. Now let's go to the big bowl. Now, more surface, okay, check this out. More surface, you know, very well aerated. You know, we would think that whatever complexity, whatever flavor, good and bad, is really going to come out now. And in this case, you know, when you pour the wine out of the bottle, when you put the wine in the bottle, air is not your friend. Maybe it's a little bit, but for the most part, air is not your friend. But when you're drinking the wine, air is definitely your friend. And Hades Cork is doing this job by aerating, and we continue to aerate the wine. So now let's give our fourth and final glass a taste. Wow, that goes through really smooth, but I think you miss flavor on this one. You know, unless you right now. Let me tell you how I'm doing this. I'm taking a sip, letting it just naturally flow, hit my palate, hit my mouth, and flow. And I'm trying to figure out which hits the palate best for this particular wine. All right. So as I said, this one here goes in, hits the mid part of my palate, nice, background flavor. This one here, I said earlier, just like completely, completely, completely in the mouth. You just taste bits of everything. The acidity. You know, I speak about in my reviews about acidity. Gotta have acidity. You know, soft acidity. I mean, it's older wine. It's 11 years old. This one here, so that's like complete all over the mouth. This one, it's the front of my palate and then rolls through my mouth to the back. This one here goes straight to the back. So it's missing the front. So I'm missing some of that night, sweetness of fruit. So my choice for which one of the four wines that shows the wine best, in this case, it's going to be my Universal Riedel. I for me, I just enjoy, and that's without doing taking the wine of a sip and then doing a rinse. I just enjoy how when I take this wine, boom, just just bursting of flavor, of fruit, of complexities. I just really, really enjoy that. They all are doing very well in showcasing the wine, but if I had to choose a favorite for this particular wine, it's going to be this one. In this case, wine glass number two. Wow. I hope you're enjoying, that this 2020 Open That Bottle Night because I'm having a good time doing it. Again, as I said earlier, this is Parallel 44, 2009 Cabernet Sauvignon, grape source from Horse Heaven Hills out of Washington. They will never, never, never make this wine again. This is the last bottle. In fact, when speaking with the winery, a couple of months ago and talking about this wine, even the owner doesn't even have any more of these wines. This is it, y'all. This is the last. This is a bust. It's done. I'm going to enjoy it for the last time. Me and Jill Scott jamming in the background. We're going to enjoy this wine because it will never ever come again. And that's the whole purpose. Open that bottle night. For 2020, it's a program that began in 2002. I mean, 2000. I've been drinking too much wine. 2000, put together by two of my most favorite people, Dorothy Gator and John Becker, editors and writers, for the Grape Collective. I mean, it was a great thing they did in doing that, encouraging people. Let's once a year, she do it all year long, but once a year for sure, let's open that special bottle of wine and let's share it with friends. If you have no one to share it with, go online like I do and share it with everyone. And if you're watching this, post your comments, put your comments in. If you watch this on a replay, post your comments. I'm going to answer. Post pictures. Let me see what you're drinking tonight. This is Open That Bottle Night 2020. And you Wisconsin wine guys having a great time. We did white earlier. We did red now. Who knows? I just may. We are like 8 o'clock my time. I just may, say Midwestern time, just may open up something else. You just never know what's going to happen with me. Because right now, me and Jill jamming in the background, drinking Parallel 44, Cabernet, never, never, never going to come again, y'all. Never going to come again. Such a Wisconsin wine guys saying as always, oh yeah, thumbs up. Gotta do the rating. Thumbs up. I highly recommend it. But you can't get it anymore. It's your Wisconsin wine guy saying, as always, let your palate be the guide when selecting your next wine. And I'll see you next time. Let's drink some wine. Open That Bottle Night 2020. Bye. Mm.